Hello PIM people and welcome. My name is Rasmus and this video is about Struct PIM version 4. Damn, I have looked forward to making this video. Version 4 is a huge lift to the already pretty nice product Struct PIM are creating. There are so much to cover in version 4, but this video will be about the most exciting topics that I have seen so far. There will be multiple videos in the future about specific things that have changed, but this will be an overall view of some of the changes. So let's dive straight into it and see some of the nice things. As you can see behind me, there normally are a version 3. Now it's a version 4, looks different. The main thing that you actually can't see here is that Struct have spent a lot of time detaching their product from the Umbraco suite. So now it's a completely separate module or product that is totally disconnected from Umbraco, which was a part of version 3 and the previous versions as well. You can see that, but this really makes them detached to Umbraco in any sense for the future features and enrichment they want to make to the product. So this is a huge step. This also implies that they have separated out the user base, the user management, and the asset management. And asset management, I mean the images, the media you have uploaded earlier. Previously, they used the asset management database in Umbraco and the user management database in Umbraco. This has been completely redesigned here, which gives tons of flexibility. So I'll show you a few nice things about that. Okay, let's dive into it. It's a completely blank sheet I have here. No widgets or nothing on the dashboard. The dashboard looks different from what you normally see. Normally in PIM3 you had your huge menu on your left side. They have moved that to the top, and then they have really been focusing on the people that is actually using PIM from day to day to enrich products, and not so much on the administrator. Not saying that I have forgot about the administrator, but they have moved the admin of the system, all of these menu points and stuff like that, they moved that aside. And you can easily see that at the top here. So the menu up here now, where you used to have both settings and everything on the left side, has moved at the top, and then you really decide what you're going to do, right? Your entry point is the dashboard. We'll make a small widgets later on in the session. But for your daily work, you will normally enter either from the dashboard or directly into what just is the PIM system, and where you can see your products, your variants and stuff like that, and nothing else. So there used to be all the settings out here, moved away, and there's a separate point that we'll look into later on. And then they have done a lot of small things that combined give a wider space to work in your day-to-day work, right? So they have made all the menus point a little smaller. The spacing between the products and stuff like that, they have just narrowed a little down, just a little bit, so you have more content on your page at the same time, which is pretty nice. They have made this left menu collapsible, so you can just remove that and have even more space here, right? And then let's dive into one of the first things that I bet have annoyed you at some point in version 3. These columns you have here can now be resized. It's a small thing, but it's really, really nice. So they have, in general, they have redesigned this module where you're listing things. Right now I'm looking at variants. Same as you did before. I want to see all the one containing something with black, for example. Sorry, there we are. You can use the same pattern, goes like this, and they should contain, the ones contain green as well. So nothing has changed there, but it's just the way that we can actually now change the size of these columns so you're capable of seeing more if that is needed. You can also rearrange them easily just by dragging and dropping them, which is also quite nice. Normally you used to do that in your view. You still have the possibility of deciding, of course, which column you want to see. That is on the top right here. manage columns. You can still drag them around like you used to, like this. You can move them away if you don't want to see them anymore. And of course you can add the fields. That is familiar, the fields you want to see. But now they have also introduced this search. So for many of you, you have a ton of long lists here. So it's just really easy saying, I want to look at sizes and I want to look at the clothes size. Let's say that and see if I have one over here. This one. That's it. And then it's here. Now I can start searching in this list with the searching you have been familiar with and that I showed before. But now they've also introduced the quick filters over here. So I can actually decide a column that I want to filter on. So it could be, let's go with the sizes again. So clothing size there. And as you can see, it quickly realized that this attribute is referring to a global list containing these values. So it just gives you these values right away, like from a normal web shop or something you have, right? And the cool thing is that now I can actually remove it over here if I don't want to see it in the view. Normally before you should have it in the view in order to search on it. But now you don't have to have it listed in the view, but you can have it as a filter over here. I only want to see the medium and the XLs, for example. So I bet you will all be really having some standard filters on your products that you will always be using out there. You still have advanced filtering option. It's here, of course, advanced filtering, like you used to have, right? So you can still do tons of different things in here, and you can really make a lot of different and or rules putting together to search directly through them. So they still have this advanced filtering as you used to, but now you also have the quick filtering over here. There's a different view now, so you have the table view, but you could also go to this grid view instead, where you can see more again like you used to on a web page or a website, a web shop. Okay. Besides that, then you have the same many of the same buttons at the top, right? It's just moved little higher, including archived, and you can quick export whatever you have in the view right now. Just export these columns to an Excel file and manipulate that, and you could potentially import it again. And import have moved here to the top. So so that'll be like this. So this one is import now. So it doesn't matter where you are, you can quickly go to import, which also helps a lot, in my opinion. They also have moved tasks up to the top here. So that will go for the same one, this one, right? So now you can enter task here. You will see just a quick overview of the task assigned to you, open task, created by me, all tasks, or you can go to this one, which sent you to the familiar task view that you have seen before. But it's not a point up here in the menu. It's actually just something that is available all the time now. So we have it up here. Okay. I'll not go into catalogs and global lists. This is some of my other videos you should go and watch where we dive into this. So the concept of data models, of global lists and your catalog, stuff like that is still the same as it was in version 3, but they have the capability of building on top of it right now. When you do different searches, then you have the product, the categories, and the variant groups you can switch between here when you do searches. So again, just crammed a little more together in the top. I find it really nice. And then you have more space to work on. That's just really nice. Okay. I'm just looking to my screen to ensure I remember all the points that I want to highlight. Saved searches. So you will still be, as soon as I put in a search here, you will still be able to save these searches. You will have the possibility of doing it on saving them here in some shared saved searches, so others can use them. They can be structured in nice folders, so it's easy to find them. And of course, then you will have your own searches down here, only for you, that's not visible for others. These searches can be found up here, so I can actually find all the saved searches that is here and just say, I want to look at this specific view. telling me nicely that there are filter on applied to this one. So this is also rearranged a little, same concept, but rearranged. Okay, then there is another thing that I think many of you have realized while working with Struct PIM. As soon as you make, especially when you make, let's go to this one, when you make complex attributes. So complex attributes consist of multiple attributes put together, right? For example, for this one. So this one have a Boolean here and a text field here. And there's no way of resizing these. They are just as they are now. But they have introduced that in this nice new grid view that you can actually change the size of them, which makes it, it's a little change, but it makes it a lot more intuitive to look at. But also when you're working with these fields day to day, you want to arrange them in different ways. And I want to show you how you can do that. So I want to search for this one, going into settings now, going into our data model, and you have attributes here. I can move this, collapse this pane again to have more space here. This is the attribute we are talking about, consisting of a Boolean yes, no, and a text field for details, right? And you can see there's now they have added this one. So they have divided the pane where you have product information. They have divided this up into 12 columns, as you can see here. And then you can decide how big you want the different attributes to be. So let's say we want this one to be 3 attributes. You could easily see the detail pane down here just shifted 3 empty columns here, and then it fits whatever you decide next. This is pretty nice. Let's save that and go into one of the product again and look at them to see it. So as you can see here now, this one is what is 3 columns, and this is 6 columns, if I recall it correct. And you can see the default down here. This is what they look like before. There's an extra thing that I want to show you. So if we go back here to the data model, and please see now this one is actually collapsed again, because I did that the last time. It remember that I want this one to be collapsed when I see this specific view. So it recalls these settings for each view. Personally for you, this is also really nice. Okay, so what will happen if I'll go for 12 columns with this, for this one? There's no room for it because the first 3 is occupied by the Boolean. So let's do that. Then it just dropped to the second line. So this is also a way for you to actually refit when you have complex attributes where the different attributes want to go. So in this case, let's resize this to 5, and then this one will stick at a lower level. So again, let's go back and look at this specific one. And now you can see it's actually moved into 2 lines. It's, to me, when I say it now, it sounds like a smaller change, but in reality, it's just it annoyed me with a lot of customers earlier that I couldn't do these changes. And now it's just flexible like hell. Like you can put them together as you want them. So this is a really, really nice one. Yes. Besides that, then we have media. So media is the asset bank you used to know, but now it's, as I mentioned in the beginning, it's detached from Umbraco, and this means it's actually going into Struct PIM itself to be stored in there. This means they have actually used the same model like they use for making data models for each individual product and variants. So a media thing now is actually a data model you create. Let's show what I'm talking about. So when I'm going into data models now, there is what's called asset types. So now I can model a new asset type exactly like I used to model my product models. So for example, here they have created an image model type, right? Giving it a name, telling what type of document or assets that is going into this specific model here. And then you actually have the same setup here, like you have different tabs where you can attach attributes. So familiar with the way you're doing it for data model for products and variants. I really like that because this means you can attach all kinds of crazy stuff to your asset library. all sorts of information that can easily be pulled out afterwards and used on websites and stuff like that. So you really have the option of putting it as you want it. Let's go back to the media library. One thing you will see here when I go into that media library is, just extend this one, you'll see the folders, the structure here. You can see the general tab, as we just looked at in the design module, showing up here. And then you have the same option. You can have it localized with different languages, all that stuff. So you can add additional information to it. You can also make relations to other pictures. So you get a kind of a hierarchy, like you can with your products, where you can have relation to other products. So they're kind of linked together, they know of each other. You will have this one with versions. This is also really nice. I missed that in the previous one. So they keep track of the change log, actually, like they used to do on products and variants. And here you will be able to see who changed it, what have changed on this one. You have the sidebar again, like you have, if you decide to have that in the view with basic information about the picture. You can replace the picture by uploading a new one. You can download the picture, stuff like that. So this is the asset bank here. But this also means that you will need to do some migration from your version 3 to version 4 because this is a different way of organizing it, right? But you can use, of course, the same pictures and the same files in general in your asset bank. Also notice that you can now, when you have a data model like this, then you can actually use the same global lists to attach values or point to values from the global list on the attributes on your assets. This is also really nice and give lots of flexibilities. Publication, will not go into that one in this video. I have another one where we are talking about publication, but it's up here. User management, let me quickly go through it. The user database, again, have been disconnected from Umbraco, which give lots of flexibility. You can create, of course, your users, invite users in here. You can also have single sign-on as you could before with a Microsoft account. All of that stuff is still there. But you have your roles and your user groups here. One thing I want to show you is the administrative role is not visible here. You cannot delete it because it needs to be there, because someone needs to be an admin of the environment, of course. Then user groups. This is a way of organizing your users, of course, but you can also tell them which different languages are they allowed to see or manipulate, or what can they do with these both languages. And then there is this one, business units. This is the one I want to talk about. You can see you can also do it about different markets and different currencies. But I want to show this business units, which is a new concept that they have introduced. So if you go into settings, you'll see business units here. Business units, you can create, again, similar view, but you can create additional business units. The idea is just that this is kind of a basic container. If you are a global company and you have different regions and someone is responsible for product within that region and are only allowed both to see them and edit them, then you can now make a business unit for them. And then you can attach these business units to your security model afterwards. This really makes it flexible. So you can easily have a role in a region that is allowed to manipulate and edit products that is created within that business unit. But you can also give them access to just view products in other business units, or you can completely say they're not allowed to see that. So again, it gives you can imagine how you can use that in your organization, but it gives you lots of flexibility that there wasn't there before. So this is really nice. I expect this will only be used for larger corporation, but there's no size limit to it, but it's a part of the enterprise license. Okay, I think not to make the video too long or too much, I think we will stop here for these nice things, but I really hope you are as pumped as I am about the new stuff here. And for specific for you guys who are working in PIM each day, I really think this will help you a lot. PIM is, or Struct PIM is already rolling this out, so new customers are coming into this version. They start migrating existing users to this one, and it will be a combination of work together with Struct PIM, because they can do the migration with all your existing products, and then work together with either your partner or do it yourself, depending on how much you're running yourself of Struct PIM. But then you need to help migrating the users, since it's a new user model, and the assets. And Struct PIM will guide you and help you. The Struct team will guide and help you, or your partners will guide and help you in all this. They have really ensured it's an easy lift and shift. And do it as soon as you can, because new functionality, new features will only come into version 4 from now on. So version 3 will still be there, and it will be there as long as the Umbraco version that they are running on today is still supported. I think it's end of life for this version in the end of 2026. So until that, you can stay on version 3, but there will not come new features. Only they will make bug fixes and security updates. So move to this one as quick as possible, and reach out, me, whatever, who else of your preferred partner, and they will help you doing these changes. Really hope you will like it. Thank you for watching, and have a brilliant day. Bye, everybody.